Hi, Jim Stewart here, and I wanted to provide a bit more information for you about my new novel, Civil War II, America's Second Attempted Suicide. In particular, what I'd like to do today is read you an excerpt. And the first chapter of the book is a foreword. It's about 4 or 5 pages long. I hope you have a couple minutes to listen to it. It sets down the premise of the new novel and gets the whole ball rolling. So take a listen, and I hope you enjoy it.
2 weeks after the collapse of the United States federal government, I was summoned from my home in Reno, Nevada for special duties. And summoned is the right word. An email titled "Let's Talk" lands in my in tray, containing a very simple message. You have come to us highly recommended by important people from your past. If you want to help your country emerge from its current condition, we would like to talk to you. A driver will arrive at your current location at 8 a.m. tomorrow. If you are not on the curb, we move on without you. Time is of the essence. Pack for 2 weeks of international travel in cold climate. The driver arrived promptly at 8 and rolled down the window. Patrick, I assume? Yes. Please get in and we can cover a few items. Afterward, if you still want to go to the airport, we go. If not, no harm, no foul. Okay. The top envelope has your itinerary, logistics, boarding passes, and some information about your destination. The bottom envelope contains contact information, a prepaid cell phone, and enough U.S. cash to cover incidentals plus some. Okay. You're going to Finland. It's a hard place to get to. It's also winter. Yes, it will be cold. You have packed for a cold climate, no? Like your instructions said? Yes, I'll be fine. Your travel arrangements are on private jets and private helicopters, so you must be a very important person. Not really. Well, I think you might be mistaken. My employers do not waste time with idiots. I'll try not to disappoint them. I followed my summons per the itinerary and the top envelope with long and boring flights on tiny jets and even smaller helicopters. Never was there more than one other passenger on board, but none of them were going to the same place I was going. What is this, a private jet bus route? Crap, what have I gotten myself into? The service was immaculate, and the food and drink even better. I had the feeling that this was the peak of my experience down this path, the recruiting perch, so to speak. And thinking this, well, I go forward anyway. 22 hours after saying goodbye and thank you to the driver, I was indeed in a cold, make that frigid climate, and headed to a think tank funded by some of the richest people in the world. They gathered this meeting in a polar circle resort of all places, and in winter no less. Eclectic. Eclectic and frigid. My new think tank had the self-proclaimed missions of 1. Preventing global violence, and 2. Halting the spread of violence that does break out. I think that preventing and halting violence are great goals. I'm not at all convinced anyone can do it, but I like the intent, so I go forward again and attend the meetings. Mine was not the only message that was sent out. There were many recognizables and professionals in similar circumstance in attendance at the briefings. After 2 weeks of these silly and serious at the same time freeze-my-flesh meetings, I was able to pull together a story that led me to believe that I am simply one part of a complex underground team being assembled to observe and report and ultimately influence the outcome of the ever-increasing violence in America. My particular role was simply to report. I was given the assignment to contact whomever I saw fit and to record their observations, their experiences, and their attempts at influence. The job was to create a factual record of events that occurred during the war, with the ultimate goal of being better able to predict what might occur in the future. I was given an infinite budget as far as I was concerned, including piles of cash of all denominations and currencies. I was given no particular time goals except for periodic report deliveries. You'll know when to send information. My parting gifts were passports and visas and various identities to allow me to travel across the world and across all of America without friction. I was even implanted with something that stung like hell, but supposedly allows me to prove my sponsorship to any government in the world. Really? So my right wrist is now a customs magic wand? Really? But given a chance to lend a hand to my country, versus standing there and watching it come unglued, I go forward yet again and lean into the opportunity. I dropped everything in my day-to-day life, bought recording equipment and cameras and laptops and phones and SD cards and thumb drives and luggage and tickets and reservations, and began the task. And for years I've done the task, and the research, and the travel, and the interviews, and the reports. And every year or so I get to attend a general meeting back in cold Finland at that Polar Circle resort. I eventually came to treat these trips as a little vacation. I could actually sit still for a week or so, and that was not normal. I don't actually know what was done with the material I generated. It just disappeared. It was never in the news. I mean, the news covered the events I was researching, so there was a lot of overlap. But most of my studies were of past events to try and set facts in place, and this research is yesterday's news. I would think that at least some of the more drastic discoveries, even if historical, would ring some bells and go public. But nothing. Nada. Zero. Everything just fell into a big black hole. So after years of frustration and not feeling very influential at all, I decided to publish my research on my own and bring my discoveries into public view. The unbelievable occurrences I've been made privy to cannot go untold. Visibility into the cruelness and hideousness of rampant human bad behavior must be left for our children. Someone once said, "Those who don't learn from the past are doomed to repeat it." That cannot be allowed to happen. These times are too crude and ugly to remain hidden. We should never tread these pathways again.